Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. On today's video, I'm going to be talking about Erank, which is a wonderful tool for Etsy sellers. And I'm going to be talking a little bit more on Etsy SEO graded system. And what does it really mean to you? And I see that many Etsy sellers make the mistake that if they get a graded system of an A, they automatically assume that they did the whole entire listing correctly, when in reality, a lot of times, the A doesn't mean anything besides an optimized checklist. So I'm going to talk about that today. So make sure that you watch all the way to the end. If this is your first time visiting my YouTube channel and you want to learn how to build an impactful Etsy business, make sure to subscribe today and don't forget to show me some love by liking this video. So let's go ahead and dive in. If you have never used Erank, I highly recommend it. It's a free tool and you'll be able to activate it once you have an Etsy store because you have to put in your information from Etsy. And it helps you do keyword research. You could look at your competition. You could do many other things that will help you improve your store and grow your store. So I highly recommend it if you check it out. Now, they have Erank has a listing audit. And based on what you do on your listing, you could get a grade of an A, B, C, D, E, and F. Now, keep in mind that just because you see an A here doesn't mean that you did everything correctly. Now, this is just a random listing from some store. I don't know this person, but I wanted to give you guys an example of a store that has an A, but is not necessarily doing it correctly. So I'll kind of briefly talk about the listing score grade. Now, how it works is it's going to give you an A base if you did everything in the checklist. So if you have a title, check. If you added a category attributes, check. If you added all 13 tags, check. If you added more than 7 images, let's say you added all 10 images like this person did, you get a check mark. You get, like you're consistent with it. You added all the images. If you have a long listing description, it gives you a check mark of, well, you did great with that. So if you do all these requirements and it does like an analysis on your actual listing. So it's going to check for, did you, like what we just talked about, did you put a title? Did you do a listing description? Did you add all 10 photos? Did you add an attribute? Did you add a category? Etc., etc. If you do all that, you get an A. If you do, let's say 50% of it, then maybe the grading system now will give you a C. If you don't do majority of the things, it might give you an E as a grading system. It just depends. But that doesn't measure your keywords if you pick the right keywords. It doesn't tell you if your photos are good or if your photos are horrible. It doesn't tell you if you optimize your listing description correctly with keywords, if you optimize your title correctly for keywords. It doesn't tell you whether you added a meta description or not. So keep that in mind next time you use it. Just because you get an A up here doesn't mean that your listing is done correctly. Now, don't, you could use this as a way to measure that you are doing everything that, like, you're doing SEO best practices of when you're creating a listing. And it's a great tool. It's just making sure that you understand how to use the tool and not assume that if you have an A, that means you did everything perfectly. Now, I'll give you an example for this store. So they have an A because they did all the checklists, but I'll kind of go over it little by little. So the title, they're doing keyword stuffing. As you can see, they have all these keywords. Now, Etsy did a change on October of last year, 2018. And what they want you to do is write a short title description, focusing your main keyword in the beginning of the sentence and describing what you're selling and keeping it short and simple. So this person is doing keyword stuffing, which gets truncated in the search results anyways, but it's too long. So therefore, right there, they're doing something wrong. Another thing that you will notice with this particular listing, a lot of their keywords, the one that says unknown, it really means that people are not really searching for those keywords. So there's no data reporting back to Erank from Etsy. Additional to that, they're using keywords that are too, like these two right here, are too over competitive, meaning that if they try to rank organically for that keyword, they're going to be drowning in the search results. And if they were to run a promoted listing ad, their cost per click is going to be very high due to the fact that they're competing with over 50,000 stores. It could be 100,000 depending on that particular keyword, but they're competing with more than 50,000 other listings that use that same keyword. And as you can see here as well, a lot of the keywords are okay, I guess, for what they're selling, but a lot of them are too broad and too much competition. So therefore, they're not ideally showing their products and services to people who intend to purchase, or they're not showing the products and services to their target audience because they're just using any word and they're just showing their listing to everybody and anybody. And when you do that, it actually affects your XC ranking, because if you show your products to a lot of people but your conversions are low, eventually XC will put your listings even lower. So just keep that in mind. It's really important that when you start doing keyword research, you are focusing on your target audience. That way, the percentage of people that see it and the percentage that buy doesn't lower your cost, your conversions. So therefore, you won't get penalized by XC by lowering you in the search results. Another thing that you can notice in their listing description is that they don't have a meta description done. The meta description is this right here. It's a snippet that's shown on Google. So when somebody types in wedding program, this is what you see on Google. Now, in order to do a correct meta description, and I have videos on this, is that you have to include your main keyword in a short description of what you're selling. This person is not doing that. So they're not optimizing for SEO, and this is considered an off-page SEO factor. So right now they're not doing that. So there's a lot of things wrong with this listing. Additional to that they're not adding a meta description, they're not optimizing their listing the correct way, which is optimizing it with keywords so you could rank higher when somebody does a search query of that particular keyword. And even if they were optimizing their listing, because they're using keywords that is not driving them any traffic, or they're too over competitive or too broad, it doesn't really matter because they have the wrong keywords. So this is a great example of a listing that has a grading system of an A simply because they did a checklist of items. But if I had to give them a grade, it would be an F, because they didn't do, the only thing that they did great was adding all the different photos. I think in that section they did an awesome job, but everything else they didn't do correctly. And majority of it will affect you because it's about finding your target audience. It's about getting your products seen by the right people and getting them found. If you don't do SEO correctly, no one's going to find your products or services. So next time you use the SEO grading system, use it as a checklist of things that you have to do, but also make sure that you're focusing on finding the right keywords, finding keywords that are targeting your audience, and also making sure that you're optimizing your listing for SEO so you can rank higher in the search results. If you guys have any questions about this or any videos you would like me to further create to kind of explain all this, let me know. Most likely I already have the video and I could link it to you, or I could create a new video for you. So just leave a comment below. I also linked additional videos about SEO that will help you, especially if you are a beginner in SEO. So guys, thank you for watching, and don't forget to show me some love.